Beautiful people, today we are ranking the best attackers in all of FC 25, and I see the news, it's been flourishing, we've had trailers and gameplay, FC 26 goodness on the horizon. Make sure to drop a like if you're ready to re-up. This is likely one of our last videos doing a deep dive with 25. Probably bring on the midfielders and the defenders. If you can let me know what your starting lineup looks like, or at least the attackers in the comment section, that would be high-key appreciated. And as per usual, at least to some degree, we've adjusted the tiers. We now have top 10, extra broken, rank 1, and foot champs, because these are the best of the best. If I missed out on anyone, you'll let me know. Cascarino, one of the fastest players I've used, but we do have so many different options for attackers. I gotta leave myself some room. We'll start off in rank 1. Adama Traore, the bowling ball type of material, bouncing off players if you've been running through objectives. He's still making some rotationals, more or less gonna be a super sub of your choosing or your selection. Bobby, and unfortunately he had a shapeshifter version that's higher rated, but you don't want him as a center mid or center back. And this variation I'm taking to foot champs. Pateas, I'd still prefer in the midfield, but I am not gonna negate what she has done for the organization, what she has done for the club, and she's going to be broken. Sammy Eto'o, the most versatile and dynamic version we have ever seen. There was always the critique around, can he pass? Can he facilitate? Is he just a turn and burn or a through ball merchant? It may be the best to do it. An absolute guarantee when it came to finishing. But this version with two passing play styles, didn't see it coming. Incisive, tiki-taka. I gotta leave the top 10 with some availability. Just hear me out. King Kenny, good money, would recommend the SBC. I think as we're recording, he's technically still available, so there's my recommendation. Gareth Bale, I'm a little stuck because the GP, which I like to stand by, the general principle, the time that he has put in, the amount of minutes and weekend league performances, he deserves to have that credited somewhere. But currently, he's nowhere near as good as he was. But I'm just struggling to not have him in broken. And if you don't agree, that's fine. You can come after me. I'll be the messenger. This is my list, and I'm still sticking him in broken. Kareem the Dream to foot champs. Barcola predicted that with the team of the season, that he'd end up blending, and he has done just that. Fernando Torres for under 100,000 coins. Getting yourself an interesting attacker. I don't know if I take him all the way up to broken, but he's doing more than I expected throughout the weekend. Quality finishing, good body type, able to get on the back end of a lot of through balls, chip through balls, knockdowns. He does all of that. Eusebio could be in the top 10. He might make it. I'm leaving it blank at the moment. I don't think we need a deep dive of analysis or a report card. We know what Eusebio is about. That has not changed. The same with Cruyff. Might be a preference play of who you think moves better, who gives you a little more innovation, a little bit of play style this way or that way, or rolls, reverse. Also, dollar signs with both of these items being relatively expensive, even present day. You might have to choose one or the other, and they could make the top 10. I'm just staying conservative for now. Claudia Pena, I like her, but I'm feeling the weekend. Rio Ferdinand, now with upgrades and scoring goals for fun with the body type and 5 play styles, including finesse shot, first touch, quick step, low driven, and aerial. What a combination. And it's been working. I see him in motion all the time. CR7, Mr. Cristiano Ronaldo, man of the match, man of the moment. I forget what this promo was called. He's had multiple upgrades, as you would expect. He almost feels ageless in some ways. He's not as fluid as he was when he was young, maybe not as risk-oriented. There's something about being fearless when you're in your youth, but by no means has he taken his foot off the pedal, at least not yet. And with a bias, I'd love to see him get a World Cup. Doku, so fast. Can't stop him, can't stay in front of him. Kind of a Vinny Jr. type of player. If I'm looking for a compare and contrast. Dembele, didn't think I'd see the day, but now for under 1 million coins, you can find yourself with a Usman Dembele in motion. Kingsley Coman, best item he's ever had. I'm going rank 1. Due. I know the price tag is sort of ridiculous. I think that's dealing more or less with rarity. Ability wise, I don't see him in that next level up. Doesn't have all the play styles. The stats are legit, I understand, but we know how this game sort of works and how it resonates. And from 3 play styles, then you got Hemp that's got a 5-piece, and I think she's brilliant. These lists are never about value or price point. However, I can make observations. I'm going to have those statements. I'll throw it into the conversation, a little bit of the narrative, whole lot of goodness. Gonzalo, foot champs, with respect. Ginola, again, you need to be grinding sort of the objectives, playing weekend league, still putting some minutes, some burns, some extra hours, and some extracurricular on the controller. And as a side note, I have never had a controller falter as much as the PlayStation 5 controller. Whether it's a stick drag or a button gets stuck or a trigger doesn't work the same way. Is it just me? Could be a bit of a sidebar conversation. Mia Hamm, what do we do here? I have loved using her, but she needs an update or an upgrade. In her last movement or swap was the shapeshifter, and that really didn't pan out. You need her going forward. Just off principle, respect, appreciation, American bias, at least rank 1, but I can understand if you're starting to have some downward trajectory when it comes to Mia Hamm. Nicholas Jackson, if you're a Chelsea supporter, you won't agree. Congratulations on winning the FIFA Club World Cup. Either way, he's still going to foot champs. Holland, cover star, coming off another good season in the Premier League. Not as good as the previous year, all things considered. And I have him in rank 1. He's always been a disruptor. He's been someone that changes the game, the flow, the fluidity, makes you uncomfortable. However, with more upgrades, we're now seeing more players that have similar attributes or roles and play styles, but also have that 6'3", 6'4", 6'5" frame. Griezmann has to play his role within the team or the squad. Secondary striker done right. I like him in broken. Thierry Henry is still a problem, to the point that I can only see him. I can only envision the main man at Arsenal as being extra broken. A step over from Henry will send you for dust. Absolutely out of the picture. It's been on re-up. He's done this over multiple months now since the release of this item. I'm just happy that EA got it right. Isak also received a shapeshifter that some of you might prefer, but at this point, I'm leaning more foot champs. Kaká, Ballon d'Or winner, one of my favorite players of all time. Just so graceful. And this upgrade, something special. And I'm going to give him the nod. We'll take him up to extra broken. Graham Hansen. And now we're getting interesting because I don't know that she's going to make the top 10. When I look at my extra broken, she wouldn't rank above quite a few of these players. We'll see as time divulges. The same with Maradona. The movement, the dribbling, the finesse, the interchange, the left stick. Just brilliance on the ball, and you can't deny him. I wish that we got to see some of his error throughout social media. It would have been a madness. Kvaratskhelia, I don't love him on the virtual pitch. I mean that with love and respect. The season he's had at PSG, what a transfer, what a signing. No doubt an influential player on the actual pitch, but he's been a little more iffy for me as the game's developed. Harry Kane, another guy that I wish I was better with, but I'm not going to deny the amount of support that the macro gives Harry Kane. In this item in particular, we'll take him to broken. On a side note, I fit in better or relate to his center mid version, that shapeshifter. He works a little more naturally for yours truly. Hazard, I can't get him out of broken. I'm not ready. Now up front, 4 play styles. I've always liked his movement this year in particular. A fantastic technical if you're hitting the R1 heavy. We got the 2 James, brother and sister, and very similar, maybe not items, but at least in placement. I don't think either would go above and beyond. It's maybe more of a preference of who you want to use. That said, I still lean them both into the broken category. And it makes sense. We're dealing with the highest rated, most expensive, most prepped, most up-to-date. Almost everyone on the board has 3 to 5 different iterations at a minimum. I'm just trying to talk my way into self-reflecting or making a case for why everyone seems to be broken or better. It lines for me right here. Keane, he's not gonna break out with this group. Lamal's looking extra active. I hope that his party scene and the news kind of covering what he's been up to does not distract from his footballing ability. He's a youngster. You got those early Neymar type of comparisons. I have no idea where the ceiling is on the actual pitch. I'll start him in extra broken for now, but you can see the foundation. It's brewing. Karchaoui, finally. I was so happy to have a version that worked because out wide, wing back, none of those items were able to cook. Lewandowski, foot champs, Mane, rank 1, Marmouche. I want some separation. Am I just getting a little harsher because we haven't filled the category? It's possible. Mbappe will most definitely stay and retain a top 10 placement. Safe to say he'd be in the top 5. The most overpowered, dangerous, threat enthusiastic item that EA has introduced. Even from the gold to presently, every iteration and upgrade, if you have an Mbappe in your team, your results will improve without you becoming better at the game. Martial, we'll take him to rank 1. MC Sauce, I might hold him off from a broken. Messi surely is leaning in the top 10. I think we can finalize it. We're going to have some movements, ladies and gents. If I'm pulling Messi up, I like Yamal getting a guaranteed position in the sector. Neuer was not mad at the inclusion. Pele, you see a theme with the 99s. I can't change. It is what it is. Cole Palmer has been fun to use, but I don't know that he's at the next level as people would expect. Nico Williams, you probably have players better. Ballon d'Or winner, often forgot of how influential or how good he was in the Premier League with Michael Owen. I prefer him out wide comparatively to being up front. Puskas, unfortunately dated, needs an upgrade, is begging for it. R9, top 10, has to be. Whatever the most elite category, he will be there. The greatest natural striker we've ever seen on the actual pitch, and he's always transcended and cross-pollinated. I think I made him into a bumblebee. Can I get a hashtag organics? Darwin Nunez, maybe not your favorite play style mix-up. He is fierce. You put him up front and you let him run, it can be terrifying, but I'm leaning into rank 1. Rafa Leao, I'm not sure that I can hold him in extra broken. He's one of those players that terrorizes me. He lives rent-free. I have nightmares. I do not stop him. I can't deal with him. It's just been that type of experience. Elise, I'm saying broken, and I'm actually going to bring Cole Palmer down to rank 1. I'm sorry, Chelsea fans and English fans. It's not about his ability on the pitch or how he performed in the finals or anything along those lines. Just FC-wise, I've had better rapport. Pedro Neto, highly expensive, but I don't know that he's a guarantee broken this way. Rafinha, deadly, dangerous, emphatic, impactful, been the best Brazilian in La Liga. Rodrigo to rank 1. Russo, who I highly recommend, maybe even more so if you're just looking to try out new players. She is a surprising item. Salma, unbelievable. To the point that I think she has to be extra broken. Danger would be an understatement. Threat would not do it justice or the proper service. The speed that kills. Sonaldo might need a little help. He needs another upgrade, needs another big item just to keep him going with the game speed or living up to the current pace of where things are heading or how they're moving, how they're grooving. Kelly Smith, maybe I was reaching. She technically is a left back, but goes as a winger, came from being an attacker, turns into more of a hybrid role to the degree that I'll put her in rank 1, but I also understand if maybe you want to disqualify her. Loda, not bad. Not amazing. Schuker, I have a bias that I love him. But for most of you, you probably didn't complete the SBC, and he's going to be in foot champs somewhere. Saka might be getting downplayed a little bit, even though it's the best item he's ever had. We just have so many players. There's no other way to say it. Salah, I'm keeping him in broken. I refuse to move the main man. And even as he's aging, he should get an upgrade next year. Jamie Vardy, as expensive as this SBC was, I don't know, presently speaking, that he would be above foot champs. And I'm mad that EA did that with an end of an era item. Usually they're more affordable. They're a bit of a steal deal or a Tesco meal deal agenda, and he was not one of those items. Big Marcus Thuram, I like him for rank 1. Carlos Tevez ends up in the weekend. EA always scrubs him with the playstyle mix-up. They could do right by him, but they don't. Suarez, I love using, and I might be just pushing a bit of a bias. One of the greatest strikers all time. Love him, hate him, view him as a good competitor, good person, bad person. I don't know him personally. Timo Werner, the burner with the flashback, causing enough issues when I go up against him. Also going to put him into rank 1. Yaya feels strange, out of place, playing up front or out wide in these attacking roles. I might double down with similar sentiment, even though Vieira is better than Yaya Toure in my mind. I just don't know if I'm going to give him the nod to this broken category where we have such discipline and degree of certifiable talent, and even a few of them might move up another notch. I've already done some regulatory adjustments here. Sophia Smith, now Wilson, broken, another objective grinder. Vinny Jr. has to be extra broken. I think we're tired of his item being relatively similar. Every upgrade he gets keeps him on the pathway of being an absolute problem to deal with. He will shake and he will bake, and a body feint, a drop of the shoulder, puts you on an island, moves so well, left stick undeniable. However, all of his items feel very similar. And then Zay Roberto, I like him in broken. He's sort of one of those players that can do a little bit of everything at high levels, but I don't know if he's a master of anything. And he might not be preferred, at least in your usage rate, as an attacker. You might play him as a midfielder chasing back, or even a fullback or center mid. There's a lot of optionality, versatility, just general utility when it comes to Zay Roberto. And that brings us to the review. And in the top 10, I see 6 names that have already checked off their final placement, and now it's going to get even more difficult. Dino, I want him there. I'm going to do it. Rafa Leao, I don't know if that's going with the grain. I'm looking at Ronaldo, and I'm struggling to not have him somewhere included. We've only got a couple names left. Eusebio and Cruyff, unbelievable. Hansen, with the track record, Salma should be considered. I'm not kidding. I'm not joking. I'm going to take Cristiano up, keeping my bias. And with a controversial final selection, I'm pulling Eusebio up to top 10, just rounding it out. I prefer him to Cruyff, and I understand if you go the other way. This Henry should not be disregarded or disrespected in any way, shape, or form. And the question is, does anybody need to join them from broken? Maybe our last edition. I like Dembele potentially getting into a combo, to the point that I'm going to let him slide into extra broken. I believe he should be there. I still prefer Pateas more in the middies. I might want to expand. I know so many of you rate Rio Ferdinand up front, and you like that he has the body type, but now the finishing and tons of play styles. I'll hear your cases. I'll hear your arguments. And just to clean this up just a tad bit, I'm going to move, and maybe an even more controversial choice, Griezmann down to rank 1. I just feel that he's reliant on the rest of the team, and he fits into that mold, and then he's amazing. He's outstanding, but I don't get the same individualism as maybe some of the other options that are in broken, or I'm getting out of pocket. You guys can let me know in the comment section. If you're new to the channel, just free to subscribe, and I have a lot more content coming out ASAP.